car down a dead-end street, chasing dust with tired old feet, living like I had nothing to lose, paying for sins I didn't choose. Then I heard about a rugged cross where mercy paid what I had lost. They said he carried every shame, every failure in my name. Down that Calvary Road he walked for me, nails in his hands, love set me free. Crown of thorns and a borrowed grave, all for a soul he came to save. Now I ain't the man I used to be, 'cause he gave his life on that tree. Every step I take I know I'm walking that Calvary Road. I used to think I was too far gone, too much damage done for one man's song. But grace poured down like summer rain, washed my guilt and eased my pain. Stone rolled back at break of day, and death itself was swept away. If he conquered death and the grave, there ain't a chain he cannot break. Down that Calvary Road he walked for me, nails in his hands, love set me free. Blood ran red so I could live, no greater gift a man could give. Now my heart and soul both know I'm walking that Calvary Road. When I stumble, when I fall, I hear his mercy call. It is finished, he said that day, and that truth still lights my way. Found that Calvary Road he walked for me, carried my cross to set me free. From that hill to eternity, his sacrifice means everything, every mile and every load. I'm walking that Calvary Road. Sunrise breaking over fields of gold, another day for this working soul. Boots on the ground, hat in my hand, thanking him for where I stand. I don't walk this life alone, he made this heart his home. When the road gets steep and the valley's deep, he's the promise I keep. I'm walking with Jesus step by step, through every trial I've ever met. When the storms roll in and the night gets cold, he's my shelter, strong and bold. From the cross to my front door, he's the reason I endure, through joy and tears in every season. I'm walking with Jesus. Used to lean on a bottle for peace, thought that burn would bring release, but the cross showed me a better way. Grace stronger than yesterday. Come to me all who are weak, that's the rest my soul now seeks. Money's tight but my faith is sure, his love forever secure. I'm walking with Jesus step by step, through every debt and regret. He lifts me up when I can't stand, guides me with a steady hand through the simple and the hard. He's the keeper of my heart through joy and tears in every season. I'm walking with Jesus. Sunday morning church bell rings, but I feel him in the simple things. In open roads and quiet prayers, I see his mercy everywhere. Yeah, I'm walking with Jesus every day. He is the truth, the life, the way. From that cross to heaven's shore, I am his forevermore. Through every mile that I go through, his sacrifice made all things new. Through joy and tears in every season, I'm walking with Jesus. Counting up my failures like they were debts I had to pay. Every wrong I ever carried wouldn't wash away. I tried to be a better man on my own 2 feet, but the weight of all my sin brought me to my knees. Then I heard about a hill outside Jerusalem, where love chose a cross instead of giving in. He took the nail so I could be free, took the crown of thorns for a man like me. Hung between heaven and this broken earth, showed the world what a soul is worth. It is finished, the sky went dark, mercy carved into my heart. Now I live redeemed and saved, 'cause he took the nail. In a borrowed tomb, stone rolled in its place, but death could never hold the one who spoke the world in place. On the third day, morning light shattered through the grave, and hope rose up for every heart that calls upon his name. If he walked out of that grave, there ain't a chain he can't break. He took the nails so I could be free, paid the full cost at Calvary. Blood ran down that rugged tree so grace could run to me. Now every road I travel on, I know I don't walk alone. I live because he gave when he took the nails. When temptation pulls me down, when I feel that old shame, I look to that cross again and I call his name. He took the nail so I could stand, forgiven by his wounded hands. From that cross to eternity, his sacrifice has rescued me. Every breath and every praise belongs to him always. I'm not who I was that day, 'cause he took the was living like a prisoner in a house I built myself. Chains I couldn't see were hanging heavy on my health. Every bad decision, every selfish plan left me standing in the ruins of a broken man. Then I heard about a Savior who didn't turn away, carried all my burdens on that judgment day. It's blood-bought freedom, paid in full at the cross on Calvary's hill. Grace so strong it broke my pride, rolled that stone from deep inside. I was lost, but now I see what His sacrifice means to me. I ain't who I used to be. It's blood-bought freedom. They mocked Him and they beat Him, nailed mercy to a tree. But every drop that hit the ground was falling there for me. He could have called down angels, walked away from pain, but love held Him steady through the suffering and shame. When He said, Father, forgive, He was thinking how I'd live. It's blood-bought freedom, paid in full. No more living by my will. From the grave He rose in power, changed my life in one dark hour. Now I walk a different street with His footsteps leading me. I stand forgiven and set free by blood-bought freedom. When the past comes knocking loud, trying to pull me down, I just point to that old cross on a holy ground. It's blood-bought freedom, strong and true, bought by love that carried through. From that hill to heaven's door, I am His forevermore. Every mile my boots will roam, He is with me, leading me home. All because He died for me, that blood-bought freedom. I was living like a prisoner. I was living like a prisoner. I was living like a prisoner. Storm was heavy, sky was gray. Hope looked buried that Friday. Disciples scattered, dreams undone. Thought the battle had been won, but the ground began to shake at the break of day. Death thought it had claimed the king, but love had one more thing. He walked out of the grave in power, turned my darkest hour, rolled that stone and broke those chains. Now I'll never be the same. Sin and fear don't hold me slave. Since He walked out of the grave, I was living like that sealed up tomb, locked inside my doubt and gloom. Shame was like a stone so tight, blocking out the light. Then I heard that angel say, He is risen that third day. If the grave couldn't hold Him down, why should I stay bound? He walked out of the grave in might, brought my dead heart back to life. Every curse I ever gave was buried in that grave. Now I stand forgiven, brave, since He walked out of the grave. When the devil whispers lies, I remember sunrise, empty tomb, victory won, all because of God's own Son. He walked out of the grave for me, won my soul at Calvary. From that cross to heaven's gate, His love rewrote my fate. Every step my boots now take echoes what that morning made. I live free and safe, since He walked out of the grave. There was a time I held a range, thought I knew these back road lanes, chasing money, chasing pride, leaving better things behind. Every mile I chose alone left me farther from my home. Then I fell down on my knees and whispered, Lord, please lead me. Lead me, Lord, down narrow ways, through the long and weary days. Be the light before my feet, be the truth my heart will keep. When I'm weak and worn and torn, be my strength at every turn. From the cross to heaven's reward, lead me, Lord. I've felt the pull of old desires, temptation spark and hidden fires. Heard the bottle call my name, felt that tug of guilt and shame. But your word cuts sharp and clear, drives away my fear. The Lord is my shepherd, I pray, and He guides me day by day. Lead me, Lord, when I can't see what tomorrow holds for me. Hold my hand through every storm, keep my wandering heart warm. When the road gets hard and cold, remind my soul what You foretold, that grace is greater than my scars. Lead me, Lord. Carried a cross up Calvary's hill so I could know Your perfect will. If You gave Your life for me, then I'll trust You endlessly. Lead me, Lord, till my last breath, through this life and even death. From that empty borrowed grave, You rose strong and mighty to save. Every step and every chord I surrender. Lead me, Lord. There were nights I spent my paycheck on a green felt tabletop, cards in one hand, whiskey in the other. Swore I'd quit, but never stopped. Rent was due, cupboards bare, but I was too proud to care. I'd drive home broke at 2 a.m., cursing who I'd been. Looked in the mirror, didn't like what I saw, a grown man losing to his own flaws. But Jesus rescued me from the chains I couldn't see, from the bottle and the gamble, from living wild and unraveled. He met me in my poverty, in my shame and misery. Now I stand forgiven, free, 'cause Jesus rescued me from me. Pawn shop ticket in my hand, wedding ring and layaway land. Promised her I'd change somehow, didn't know where to start back then. Then I heard about a cross where every sinner's debt was lost, how he bled and died to pay for men who'd lost their way. When he said, Father, forgive, he meant I still could live. Yeah, Jesus rescued me from that old dependency. Took the taste of whiskey's fire, replaced it with a new desire. Now Sunday mornings where I stand, Bible open in my hands. He gave me back my family when Jesus rescued me from me. Money's still tight, work is hard, but peace now guards my heart. I once was blind, but now I see that truth belongs to me. Yeah, Jesus rescued me from me, broke those chains at Calvary. From the table to the bar, he carried all my scars. Now every mile and memory points back to that victory. I'm not who I used to be. Jesus rescued me from me. I grew up counting every penny, Mama stretching beans and bread. Daddy worked till his hands were bleeding, still we barely got ahead. I swore I'd make a different life, chasing fast and rolling dice. But the more I tried to climb, the more I fell behind. Pride had me by the throat, didn't know I needed hope. Then I found grace in the dust, right there where I fell on my knees beside my truck where I used to hide my hell. He didn't see a lost cause, didn't turn away from us. He met me broken, ashamed, and poured out grace in the dust. Whiskey breath and empty nights, neon lights and barroom fights. I said words I can't take back, watched my whole world crack. But somebody handed me a Bible worn and thin, said come to me you weary soul. And that's where change began. if the sun sets you free. That promise rescued me. Yeah, I found grace in the dust where my boots hit the ground when I thought I'd lost it all. That's when I was found. No silver spoon, no easy road, just mercy strong and just. He lifted me from where I was with His grace in the dust. Money still tight some weeks, but peace ain't bought or sold. I'd rather have His presence now than pockets full of gold. Yeah, I found grace in the dust at the foot of the cross, where a king wore thorns for me and paid my cost. Now I walk a straighter line with faith and trust. Every day I'm living proof of His grace in the dust. Used to run that wide highway, fast cash dreams and get rich plays. Dice in my pocket, flask in my coat, every bad habit I ever wrote. Friends would laugh, say live it up, didn't see I'd had enough. But the wide road only took me down to a lonely broken town. Now I'm a narrow road man, trying to follow where He ran, through the thorns and through the pain, through the sunshine and the rain. He said the gate is small and few will stand, but I'm holding to His nail-scarred hand. I ain't living like I did back then. I'm a narrow road man. There were nights I'd lose my pay on a last chance card game play, tell myself I'd win it back, but I'd just sink deeper in that track. She'd be crying at the door, wondering what we're fighting for. Then I heard, what does it gain if you lose your soul for gain? Now I'm a narrow road man, saved by a wounded lamb. He carried a cross up Calvary's hill so I could trade my will for a life that's built to stand on a rock and not on sand. I ain't turning back again. I'm a narrow road man. Whiskey used to calm my fears, now I pray through those hard years. Money's tight but my heart is rich, since He pulled me from that ditch. And I'm a narrow road man, led by the great I am. From the cross to the empty grave, my soul He came to save. Every mile across this land I'll walk by faith, not by plan. Was lost but now I stand. A narrow road man. Narrow road man. to be the strong one, never let them see me bend. Worked 2 jobs, kept my head down, tried to be my own best friend. The debt kept stacking higher, like bells in the barn each fall. And every time I swore I'd quit, I'd answer that whiskey call. I was fighting battles I was never meant to face alone. Then I was carried by the cross, by love that paid my cause. When I couldn't stand no more, he stood for me when I was sinking in my loss. He reminded me who's boss. Now I ain't living for myself, I'm carried by the cross. Lost near everything I had, trust, respect, and cash. Saturday night at the poker game left me in the aftermath. But I heard about a Savior who forgave a thief that day. If he could save a man like that, he can make a different way. They know not what they do, he said, even for a fool like me. I was carried by the cross, where mercy bore my loss. Nails and blood and sacrifice changed this heart of ice. From that hill on Calvary, he reached down and lifted me. Now I live redeemed because I'm carried by the cross. Money's still tight some days, fields don't always grow, but peace walks beside me now everywhere I go. Yeah, I'm carried by the cross, not by pride or by my loss. From the grave he rose in might, turned my dark to light. Every mile and every boss, every gain and every loss, I stand forgiven, strong and free. Carried by the cross, carried by the cross. Friday night neon flicker, smoke hanging in the air. The last of my week's hard earning stacked in a wooden chair. I said just one more hand now, like I'd said 1,000 times, trying to win back what I lost, chasing crooked lines. But luck don't love a desperate man, it just takes what it can. That's when mercy met me at the card table, right there in my shame. I heard a whisper in my heart, calling me by name. What does it profit, son? Cut deeper than the pain. I pushed my chair back, bowed my head, and I ain't been the same. Walked out, broke into the night, gravel crunching slow. Sat behind that steering wheel, didn't know where to go. Tears fell on that dashboard for the first time in years. I said, Lord, if you can use me, start right here. I thought I'd gone too far, but grace ain't scared of scars. Yeah, mercy met me at the card table, didn't wait for Sunday pews, didn't traded my addiction for a reason to pray. Whiskey bottle in the seat, I poured it in the dirt. Said no more chains around these hands, no more self-inflicted hurt. Yeah, mercy met me at the card table right where I fell apart. He didn't just forgive my sin, he rewrote my heart. Now every paycheck that I earn feeds my home instead. I walk a different road today by the words he said. Saturday night left me empty, dust on my boots and shame in my chest. Lost my temper, lost my money, couldn't say I did my best. Woke up to a quiet sunrise, head bowed low in doubt. Didn't know if I was welcome, didn't know if I'd be cast out. But I heard those church bells ring, like heaven calling me in. And Sunday changed my name, wasn't who I was before. At the foot of that old rugged cross, I laid my pride on the floor. Past forgiven, chains undone by the mercy of the Son. Now I'm not the same, 'cause Sunday changed my name. Preacher read, though your sins be scarlet, they shall be white as snow. I felt that weight start lifting, like a river starting to flow. Hands that used to hold a bottle now raised in humble praise. Tears fell down like healing rain, washing old ways away. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound, lifted this lost man off the ground. Yeah, Sunday changed my name, from broken to redeemed, from a gambler with no direction to a man who finally believes. From barroom lights to heaven's flame, I ain't living for my fame, I'm standing unashamed, 'cause Sunday changed my name. Money still tight, work still hard, but peace now guards my heart. The grave was empty, hope was born, that's where my new life starts. Yeah, Sunday changed my name when I called on Jesus' name. From Calvary to that open grave, he had the power to save. Now every mile I walk in faith ain't driven by my old mistakes, I thank him every day. That Sunday changed my name. There's a corner store on Maple where I used to lose my pay. Brown glass lined up on the counter like it knew my name each day. I tell myself just one tonight to take the edge away, but one turned into many, and I drowned in yesterday. That burn felt like a friend till it pulled me under again. Now I'm walking past the bottle with Jesus by my side. Every step away from that door is a step where I don't hide. He took the thirst inside my soul and filled it up with hope. Now I ain't reaching for the whiskey, I'm reaching for the rope that pulled me from the dark and trouble. Yeah, I'm walking past the bottle. Bills stacked high on the kitchen table, kids need shoes and bread. I'd wasted all on liquid lies while better words went unsaid. But I knelt down one hard night with nothing left but shame. Said, Lord, I can't defeat this thing, I need your strength again. He said, my grace is enough, and his love proved tough. Now I'm walking past the bottle, not by my own will, but by the blood on Calvary that gives this heart new skill. The cross broke chains I couldn't see, the grave proved victory. Now I'm living sober, strong and stable, walking past the bottle. Temptation still calls my name, but I call on his instead. The same one who rose on Sunday lives in me, he said. Yeah, I'm walking past the bottle, head high straight, from a broken man in poverty to a soul restored by grace. Every mile down this road I carry a lighter load, 'cause he took my sin and trouble. Now I'm walking past the bottle, walking past the bottle, walking past the bottle. I used to think my hands were dirty from the deals I made at night. Cards and cash and broken promises never turning out right. I'd shake on lies and seal them tight with a whiskey breath goodbye. Didn't know my soul was drifting farther from the light. But then I heard about a Savior with nail scars in his hands, who carried every wrong I'd done across that cursed land. Now I see my handprints in the nail scars, every sin I ever made, every lie and every lost card was a debt he fully paid. He stretched his arms on that rugged tree and took the blame for me. Now I'm living by his grace, 'cause I see my handprints in the nail scars. poverty was my excuse. Said I did what I had to do. Blame my daddy's broken ways for the mess I walked into. But truth hit hard like a hammer strike when I read those words and read, Father, forgive them, echoed strong inside my stubborn head. If he forgave the ones that nailed him there, he can forgive a man's despair. Yeah, I see my handprints in the nail scars, the truth cut deep and clear. But mercy flows from wounded hands and drives away my fear. The cross ain't just a story told, it's where my chains were rolled. Now I walk a different way since I saw those nail scars. I still fight old urges some nights when money's thin and tight, but I remember what it cost to bring me back to life. Yeah, I see my handprints in the nail scars, but I also see his love, stronger than my darkest days, sent down from above. From Calvary to that open grave, he rose in victory. And now these hands are lifted high in praise and humility.
There were mornings I woke up broke, sun barely peeking through. Notice on the door saying final call, didn't know what I'd do. Truck wouldn't start, crops went dry, credit run too thin. I'd stand there staring at that sky, wondering where he'd been. But even in that silent place, I could feel his steady grace. I found footsteps beside mine on that long and weary climb. When I thought I walked alone, he was there the whole time. Through the poverty and pain, through the whiskey and the shame, every valley, every climb, there were footsteps beside mine. I remember that Friday story, how they led him up that hill. Carried wood on beaten shoulders, yet he chose to climb it still. Nails went through those loving hands for sinners just like me. If he'd walked that road to Calvary, he'd walk this road with me. The grave couldn't hold him down, so why should I stay bound? Yeah, I found footsteps beside mine in the dust of my hard times, when the bills were stacking high and I couldn't see the signs. From the cross to the empty grave, he proved he came to save. Now every road and county line has his footsteps beside mine. Temptation whispers late at night, tells me take that drink, but I remember what he paid, and it changes how I think. Yeah, I found footsteps beside mine, not just on Sundays in a line,
but in fields and factory floors, behind closed broken doors, through every loss and every win, he never once gave in. I walk by faith, not by sight, with his footsteps beside mine.
I've climbed some hills in my lifetime, chasing deals that fell apart. Worked till my back was breaking, still couldn't fix my heart. Pawned off dreams for pocket change, tried to gamble back my pride. But every road I took alone left me empty inside. Then I heard about a hillside outside Jerusalem. The hill he climbed for me was steeper than my shame. Carried that cross on wounded shoulders, calling out my name. Through the blood and through the pain, he broke my every chain. Now I'll walk in victory because of that hill he climbed for me. They mocked him in his suffering, crowned him with cruel thorns, yet he looked through all that agony and saw this life reborn. I think about those nails sometimes when temptation calls my name. If he could stay upon that cross, I can walk away from shame. It is finished still rings true for everything I put him through. Yeah, the hill he climbed for me changed my destiny. From a man who loved the whiskey to a man set free. From poverty and broken nights to standing in his light. Every breath I breathe I see the hill he climbed for me. Money's tight and work is rough, but grace is more than enough. The grave was empty on day 3. That same power lives in me. Yeah, the hill he climbed for me is why I still believe. From Calvary to that open tomb, he rewrote my story. Now I'm walking strong and free from who I used to be, all because of Calvary and the hill he climbed for me. Classic traditional country, baleful age 45. His rich heart told American country. Suckle temptation and finding redemption through Jesus and his sacrifice. Clear verse that long, temptation long, temptation and finding my way. Classic traditional country, Lord, in mind. Temptation and tumults to say. Classic temptational country, men finding tells where the last toward I go. Classic traditional country, and I answer hat, and I don't wanna be without, don't know. Clear verse it long, temptation long, temptation and finding my way. Classic traditional country, Lord, in mind. Temptation and too longs to stray. Classic traditional country. Classic traditional country, male, vol age 45. Classic traditional country, male, Vauxhall age 45. Classic traditional country. 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 Classic, classic traditional country. Classic traditional country. Classic traditional country. Classic. The truck on the gravel, headlights low, radio humming soft and slow. Thought I'd drown my troubles in whiskey, trying to outrun the row I sowed. Card stacked high on the passenger seat, lost more than I could cheat. And I prayed like a man who's broken, looking for a seat with mercy's heat. And I felt him right there beside me, guiding every mile I drove. Say, behind the wheel, by the grace I couldn't earn, through the night and every dew, He made my spirit turn from a sinner on the edge to a man who now believes, saved behind the wheel by the love that never leaves. Field for dry, rent was late, I'd curse my luck, I'd curse my fate, but he whispered through that steering wheel, son, my blood covers all you feel. I turned my eyes from the bottle glass and let His mercy pass every mile I drove that night. He turned my wrongs to right. If He could die for men like me, He can set a sinner free. Yeah, I'm safe behind the wheel from the debts I tried to cheat, from the whiskey and the shame, from the past I tried to keep. Now every mile I take, I do it for His name. Safe behind the wheel, and I'll never be the same. Even when the crossroads come and old habits call my name, I remember who rides with me, and I'll never play that game. Safe behind the wheel, by the blood that bore my sins, from the grave to morning light, His mercy still begins. Every road and every mile I walk with hope and smile, safe behind the wheel, by His love that never ends. Safe behind the I was standing at a crossroads, dust kicking up in the sun. One road led to old habits, the other to what he'd done. A whiskey in a brown paper bag, cards hiding on my shame. Felt like every choice I'd made that brought me to the same. And I remembered Calvary and the love that died for me. Crossroads in the dust, I bowed my head and prayed. He showed me where to put my trust and washed my sins away. From poverty, from gambling, from the fight, He gave me hope and a light. Now I walk a different path, crossroads in the dust. Money tax feels rough, life's been harder than enough. But I've seen what His mercy does when a sinner calls His love. Every temptation, every shame, I lay 'em down in His name. No longer led by my own pride, He walks with me each stride. Your grave was empty, hope alive. His sacrifice lets me survive. Crossroads in the dust, I chose a narrow way, left behind the bottle and lust, found grace to stay. Every mile that I roam, He leads me safely home from the past that tried to cling. I walk a new man's way. Even when the winds blow cold and I feel I can't be bold, I remember who's on my side, and I don't need to hide. Crossroads in the dust,
I put my trust in Him. Every wrong replaced with love, every light out of them. Through every struggle, every fight, His mercy is my sight. I walk a life redeemed and just. Crossroads in the dust. I've worked these fields from sunup to sundown. Hands calloused, back bent low. Sweat on my brow, dirt on my boots. Still it feels there's nothing to show. Bills pile high, rent overdue. Dreams seem small and few. But every morning I kneel and pray, Lord, help me see this through. Then I remember His sacrifice, how He bore the nails and price. Bread and grace, that's all I need. He fills my soul, He meets my need. From empty pockets to a hopeful heart, He gives me strength to start. Through every loss, through every test, His mercy gives me rest. I live each day by His embrace, with bread and grace. Whiskey temptations still call my name. Cards still haunt my mind. But I've learned what true wealth is in the love I've come to find. He fed the hungry, healed the blind, and bore the world's mistakes. If He can do that for all mankind, He can mend a man like me. The Lord is my shepherd, He said, and my fear is put to bed. Bread and grace, that's all I need. He fills my soul, He meets my need. From poverty, from pain, from sin's dark cage, I'm freed by His holy wage. Every field I plow, every mile I pace, I feel His presence in this place. I live each day by His embrace, with bread and grace. Even when the nights are long and the burdens seem too strong, I remember the hill and cross and the life that He has won. Bread and grace, that's all I need. His mercy covers me indeed. From empty hands to lifted face, I walk by faith, by His grace. Every trial and test I face, I endure